Well, I got an update on Betsy. As you can see, I now have a rolling chassis. It's got all complete. Got the engine, transmission, drive shaft in it, and it all came together. It was actually, I think, came out overall very nice. Puts a smile on my face. I think every little step along the way and everything that I've addressed with the brakes and suspension, and I think it's now to see it all together, it really kind of a wow moment for me. I think it looks pretty good like this, with the engine, the paint on the engine. Everything's all new, everything's solid. You know, I looked at the engine on that stand inside for a long time, and it you know, it seems to look a lot better. It looks a lot brighter once you get it out here in the sunshine. The transmission that I went with, I went with a Chevy TKO 500, obviously from American Powertrain. I had them install the mid shifter location on there, since I'm going to have a bent seat. It's going to put the shifter in a real nice position. You can see here the hydraulic lines coming out of the bell housing. I went ahead and installed a ram hydraulic clutch in there, and then I had to get a I had to put a spacer in here between the bell housing and the transmission, so I could shim the throwout bearing up properly. The clutch I put in there is a zoom clutch, but it's all together finally. I had a drive shaft made for it, so actually once I put the drive shaft in there, it kind of all came together, and kind of even impressed myself with it. All the brake lines and fuel lines are all plumbed. The main brake line and fuel line, I was able to do in one piece, and I get all the braided lines going to the brakes. I think the plumbing came out real clean. The brake line that I used on here is that Nikop brake lines, and it's a nice product. It's the first time I've ever used it, but it's real easy to work with. It's you can bend it by hand, unless you got to make a tight bend somewhere, but they're all on there. And then I also have the emergency brake hooked up on it. This got all new factory location for the e-brake cable, and then it comes back and ties into the new cables that I got for the disc brakes. It came out real well. I think the overall look of the chassis sitting out here in the sun, is pretty good. So we still got a few more things to do. I'm gonna I gotta fix a couple things with the brackets. I gotta fix the air cleaner. It was all top of it was pitted. I didn't like that. It was bothering me. So I'm going to redo that, and then the other thing I've decided to go ahead and do, since this truck's going to drive so nice, is make it more comfortable inside. So I decided to go ahead and I'm going to put an AC compressor on here and get some AC inside there. When I do that, I'm going to have to upgrade the cooling on here. The regular stock configuration with the fan and the radiator just won't be enough. So I'm going to go ahead and put a nice new 4-core aluminum and electric fan setup in it, but that'll take care of all the cooling. But finally seen it all come together, and with all the little steps that I've done along the way with the rear end, everything I've done to get to this point right here, you know, this is going to be a real nice combination. It's going to be real fun to drive. It's going to get decent mileage. It's going to shift well. It's going to steer well. It's going to brake good. So it ought to be real nice. Still need I'm going to make up a temporary exhaust for it. When the truck's all finally complete and drivable, I'll take it down to a muffler shop and have a real nice exhaust put on there. But there's a good look at Betsy, a good look at the finished chassis on it. When I first started all these videos, I had a video that showed just the bare chassis sitting out here. Now to see it all complete and everything's new and everything's ready to go, it's actually it came out real nice. It's a good looking piece. Like I said, puts a smile on my face when I look at it like this, just to see it sitting there. But I think next I'm gonna do the front end, put that compressor on there, and then I'll start working on the cab, because this will pretty much be finished, and I can't start fitting all the fenders or anything on this truck until I get that cab sitting in there. I'm only putting that cab on one time, so we'll go ahead, but it'll be a nice step. It's a lot of work to get it finished, but it's nice seeing the chassis like this. I actually can't wait to drive it. I wish I had a time machine so I could put myself in the future and take this thing for a spin, but yeah, it'll have to wait. So, but there's a look at Betsy. There's a big step right there. I finally have a working, usable, drivable transmission in the truck, and it's going to be nice. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one for now, and we'll come back.